A headline here, New Era Hailed in Evangelical Roman Catholic Relationships. Again, Pope Francis and the General Secretary of the World Evangelical Alliance have hailed a new era in relations between evangelicals and the Roman Catholic Church. A WEA delegation met with Pope Francis and representatives of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity, PCCU, Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity, PCCU, today to talk about areas of potential collaboration on areas of common concern. In his address to the PCCU, World Evangelical Alliance General Secretary Dr. Jeff Tunnicliffe said, "We acknowledge the differences between our traditions, yet also affirm the common tasks we have shared in the past and pray that we can build on those. Evangelicals are a very diverse group that includes peoples and churches from Pentecostal tradition, Reformed, Baptist, Independents. We share a common faith in our Lord Jesus Christ. We desire to serve God's kingdom. We have a heart to encourage personal spiritual renewal, transformation, and a passion to make Jesus known around the world. As we seek to obey Christ, we see this time as a new era in evangelical Roman Catholic relations." Eric, what is this Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity? What is wrong with what Dr. Tunnicliffe is doing?
Well, the PCCU has been around for a long time. They are the same group that signed a document with the Lutheran World Federation some 20 years ago, stating that the differences between Catholicism and evangelicalism were now of nothing to think of. The problem is they redefined the word grace, and the word grace appears in this document, and to the Christian, grace is God's goodwill toward sinners, it's unmerited favor, and it's what God gives to us freely. In Catholic doctrine, the idea of grace is God gives you the ability to do more good works, and combining the good works with what Jesus did is the way of salvation. So, again, it's a matter of defining the terms. This goes on and on, too. When you look at the World Evangelical Alliance and Jeff Tunnicliffe, yes. I want to remind some of our longtime listeners that this is the same group the Muslim-friendly Bible translations were given over to see if they held water and they should be accepted or not. This is a guy, Jeff Tunnicliffe, who signed the Common Word document at Yale University that we have talked about several times on air, that I've written about and we have all discussed. And that is a document that states that Allah and Jehovah are the same God. So immediately bring into question the discernment, the ideas that are being forwarded here by this group that claims to speak for evangelicals.
I always go back to history, and when you look at the Council of Trent, during that time, people were put to death if they believed in salvation through faith in Jesus Christ and only Jesus Christ. And the Catholic Church held to that belief and held to that position for centuries after that. And even when Vatican II rolled around and all of that happened, the tone changed, but they never went back on what the Council of Trent decided. So you look at history and you say, well, has there ever really been a change in position here? No, the tone has changed, but we are still separated from them, and they want us to come back under the banner of the one and only church.
The Pontifical Council can make statements and sign documents and so on, but the catechism hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And catechism number 1129 states that the sacraments are necessary for salvation. Catechism 2068 says that the Roman Catholic Church exists so that all men may attain salvation through faith, baptism, and the observance of the commandments. That is works, folks. That is not salvation through Jesus Christ alone and by faith in Him.
Exactly. And you know what? The Council of Trent, actually, a quote during that time said that if anyone saith that by faith alone the impious is justified, let him be anathema.
I want to play one more soundbite here, and then our time will be up here. But this is going back to Pope Benedict, and we have a number of Protestant leaders. And if you see this online, it's a little stunning because a number of these gentlemen who are coming to meet Pope Benedict are literally bowing before him. Others are just taking his hand. Who knows what they're talking about? But this is just a 1-minute soundbite, and I find it one of the most troubling soundbites, or one of the most troubling videos I have seen online.
Your Holiness, may I present Reverend Wesley Granberg Michelson, the General Secretary of the Reformed Church in America. Your Holiness, may I present Reverend Dr. Clifton Kirkpatrick, the stated clerk of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church in the United States. Your Holiness, may I present Reverend Dr. William J. Shaw, President of the National Baptist Convention, United States. Your Holiness, may I present Bishop James Leggett, General Superintendent of the International Pentecost Holiness Church. Your Holiness, may I present Dr. Leith Anderson, President of the National Association of Evangelicals. Your Holiness, may I present Bishop David H. Benke, President of the Atlantic District of the Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod. Your Holiness, may I present Reverend Dr. A.R. Bernard Sr., President of the Council of Churches of the City of New York. Your Holiness, may I present Elder Bernice King, daughter of the civil rights leaders Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King.
Again, if you see this online, you see some of these gentlemen, not all of them, literally bowing down to Pope Benedict. Eric, as you said a minute ago, I mean, when I saw this, I felt like I was watching Revelation 13 come into play.
Jan, someday when Antichrist is actually revealed, there will be people, I believe, surrounding him, maybe on a platform somewhere, who will call themselves not only Christians, but evangelicals. I feel sure of that. I believe that's what the situation will look like. If the emergent church leaders are called evangelicals, then all bets are off about what is going to be called Christian in the end. And so this is where we are in time, and we as the church need to speak about it. We need to bring it up. We need to talk about it, and we need to let people know it's not because we're trying to bash someone. It's because we love people enough to warn them of what is happening around us right inside of what is called Christianity.
Jill, you want to sum this up?
We will be held accountable for not defending our doctrine. We will be held accountable for not guarding it. This is something that we are all required to do. When things are thrown out there that we're all on the same team, well, I'm sorry, we need to examine these things closely and look at what members of this team are teaching and how that infects doctrine, and guard it and be careful.